Hi everyone and welcome back. Today's video will be a continuing discussion built off of our last video where we introduced the topics of the all, the soul, and spirit of the universe. So Sterling, could you give a breakdown of infinite and finite within the realm of the soul and spirit of the universe? And is one finite and the other infinite, or are they mixed?
Okay. Well, as far as the spirit of the universe is concerned, that is masculine energy. Okay. The soul of the universe is feminine energy. So masculine is going to be fire and air. Okay. Feminine is going to be water and earth. Spirit, again, fire, water is soul. And you're talking about breakdowns of the infinite and finite within us and within everything else. Fire is the finite expression. Okay. Air is the infinite expression. Water is the infinite expression for feminine, and then earth would be the finite expression. The best way to look at those is, especially for people, is within the mind, because it houses everything. Okay. Now, the soul of the universe is housed in the pineal gland and the mind, and that what we would call the divine feminine. The divine masculine is housed in the pituitary gland. Okay, and spreads from there. Okay, into its forms, and they are mixed. So let's talk about the spirit of the universe first. The spirit of the universe is made up of fire, which is spirit, and air, which is intelligence. Spirit is the finite expression. It is born, it has free will, it makes choices throughout its entire life, and then it completes, it ends in death. Okay. Once it's ended, the cycle of that spirit is over. It cannot learn anymore, it cannot do anything more. Okay. And the only way that it can express is through the life that it had before. So it is what would be a ghost that people see. Okay. It'll be clothed the way that it was clothed while it lived. Okay. It will express the way that it did when it was alive. It won't be able to learn anymore. It won't be able to do other things. It can only do what it did while it was here.
Okay.
And it's finite, so it ended. Its cycle is complete. Now the intelligence is the infinite expression of masculine energy. Okay, within the spirit of the world. Okay, that's why you can access past memories. Okay, because it continues on. Both of that's going to flow back up into the all, just as well as the soul would. Okay, it's going to flow back into the all. It's going to come down. What it will leave is a residual here. Okay, that can be accessed by the spirit. Okay, but that's it. It's not the actual intelligence. It's just a residual of what it was when it was here.
Okay, kind of like a Polaroid image.
Yes, just like that. Okay, now when we go to the soul of the universe side, the soul of the universe side, water is the infinite expression. It's the soul. It's every potential that anyone ever could or will be. Okay, upon death, that reverts back to the all, and again leaves its residual here. So the emotions, the feelings, the sensitivity that it had when it was alive, still accessible, nothing more. You can't reach in and grab new potential and bring it down. It's over. But the spirit can still access all of those things that it had while it was here. So it can become angry. There can be issues that may need to be resolved emotionally that is keeping the spirit here until it's allowed to access it. And then the spirit can move on. The residual will then dissipate. The residual of the intelligence will then dissipate, and the intelligence will go. Okay, and then you've got your brain. Okay, which is the physical manifestation of all of it. Okay, the pituitary gland is in there. The pineal gland is in there. That's where the spirit intelligence is housed in pituitary. The soul and physical representation is housed in the pituitary gland. All the feminine is there, and it's housed inside the brain. So, and the brain, again, makes up the mind. Okay, it's the housing for the mind. All four elements there are the mind. Okay, and that's how we work. That's how our bodies work, and that's the only way that we can function. Okay? So that's the breakdown for infinite and finite within us. Okay, essentially within the mind of every species on the planet.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So how does consciousness fit in?
Consciousness. How does consciousness fit in? Well, consciousness and the subconscious, okay, are actually both aspects of feminine. Okay, and we know this by looking at the astrological wheel. Okay, consciousness is what we call the nadir. Okay, and the nadir is the cusp of the fourth house, which is Cancer, ruled by the moon. It's feminine energy. Okay, the midheaven is our consciousness. Midheaven is the cusp of the 10th house. Okay, which is Capricorn, which is Earth, which is feminine. Okay.
Okay.
So, what do we take from that? Well, so the emotional aspects, okay, the water aspects of the universe, okay, the things that are not objects, okay, are unconscious. Objects, okay, forms, individualized forms are conscious of themselves, okay, is what we can take from that. All earth energy is conscious. All water energy is essentially unconscious or subconscious. Okay, and that's how that cycle goes or flows. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. And then you talked about the air energy,
Mm-hmm.
the intelligence,
Right.
being the infinite expression
Right.
of our masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
and that it will go on after you pass.
Yes.
Is that where the ideas of the Akashic record come from?
But being able to access them, yes, essentially. That's how you're able to access them, because your intelligence would be a part of the Akashic records. Everybody's intelligence would be. It can go up and meld with the rest of it in the all. Is essentially where the Akashic records are going to be stored, and you can access them here. Okay. Well, actually, they'd be stored in like the files of the cherubim. I mean, if you're into the angelics. Okay. So from the all to cherubim, you can access the library of the cherubim, hit the Akashic records, pull out information, pull it down into the form that you have now, into this, into your mind, okay, for processing.
Okay. Is there a limit to what you can access? Would you be able to access any information you so desired, or is it limited to your?
Well, when we're talking about, I mean, that's going to. Now you're getting into different faith systems. Some faith systems might say yes, you can. The Judeo-Christian faith system would say no, because you have the cherubim that are going to be in charge. So there are librarians. And there will be areas where the librarians say you don't have access to this. No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's not something you can just command. It is something that you are granted access to, essentially. And that's going to have to do with your spirit this time, choices that you've made, things that you've done, the path that you're on. If you're trying to access stuff that has nothing to do with your path, they'll probably deny access to it because you don't need it.
Okay.
And again, we're talking about the brain. Your brain can only house so much.
Right. Yes, that is true.
And process before you get to a point where you've got so much information you can't access it.
I was actually, I was thinking about some of the stories that I've heard about people like Nikola Tesla, for example, where he spoke to where he was communicating with angels or otherworldly entities and receiving this information for his inventions.
Right. Well, that's the path he was on. If he had tried to access other ones, they would have said, no, we're giving you this information, this is what you need, not this. There's no point to giving you this information because there's nothing practical you can actually do with it. I think if you want to talk about somebody who did that, I'm not sure the man's name, but there was a movie based on him called A Beautiful Mind.
Okay, yes, mathematician John Nash.
Yeah, John Nash.
Yeah.
I believe that was part of his problem. He was trying to access things that he didn't need in this particular lifetime just to serve his own ego.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what it did was it caused a mental breakdown and cause essentially like schizophrenia, where he was seeing different people, and there was there was a little girl he was talking to, and other people, and again, when he got involved in the code breaking things that weren't even real, that was a problem, and I think that's what happened.
Okay.
He pulled down way too much information, and he got to a point where he was not able to process it in a practical manner. So it created an illusion for him to be able to express all of this information that he had, because he couldn't keep
his mind
it all
just couldn't
contained.
contain it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it needed an outlet, and it didn't have a practical outlet, so it created a delusional one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's my theory on that. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I think of his story.
Okay.
And then once accessed, you can't get rid of it. All you can do is ignore it and build up limitations in your own mind through Saturn energy to limit that. Even though it's still around, you don't access it. And that's essentially what he had to do up until his death.
Okay.
Because even he admitted he still saw the people, he just didn't interact with them at all.
Hmm.
And that allowed him some sort of sanity to come back. Understanding his delusions, understanding that they would never go away, but still being able to live a practical life
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
without interference.
Okay. So here's another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you said the soul returns to the all
Yes.
and can cycle back down.
Right.
The ideas of reincarnation.
Right.
In different religions. How does that tie into individuality?
How's it tie into individuality? Well, your soul doesn't really tie into individuality until it connects with a mind that has another spirit. Your spirit would be the individuality of that soul. Your new physical form would be the individuality of that soul. Okay, how you access your intelligence through your will is going to be, okay, how you work and move through your physical body, through your soul, how they all interact together, that's going to be what causes it. Because essentially your soul is nothing but potential. Okay, it needs a spirit to access it. Okay, if you met your own soul, you wouldn't recognize it, because it's anything and everything you could ever be.
Okay.
Spirit, you could, because you could go, you know what, I remember being this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? But if you looked at your soul, it could be you, anybody else in the world that has potentials like yours. So, in that regard, individuality is going to come from the finite aspects of the mind and of the body. That's what is going to determine what choices you make. Your free will, this particular time, are going to come from your spirit, because your spirit is what has the free will to be its own individual. None of the other elements have that.
Okay. Okay. So then I guess, could you consider the soul essentially being, if you go back to, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, the Genesis account, where God breathed in to man the breath of life, would that be the soul at that point?
No. That would be the spirit.
Okay.
And the masculine energy, essentially, becoming, and here's where we're going to have a difference. Your conscious being is, being conscious is different than consciousness. Let's just say that, okay? Consciousness is earth, okay? He breathed consciousness, okay? Not conscience. They were getting into a weird thing. But when he breathed that in, he breathed in the spirit, and he breathed in intelligence to all of those potentials, okay? And allowed movement and motion,
Okay.
and form and will and drive and the ability to theorize and think and interact. So expression and interaction is what he breathed into, okay? Substance and sensitivity. To allow those things to express. They can't express without the masculine, because the masculine is the only thing that can project.
Okay.
Feminine is passive and receptive. It does not project energy. It receives it.
Okay. Okay. That just made the story make a whole lot more sense to me.
Okay, good, I guess. That's a good thing. But yeah, so that's how that play out works. And it's all four together create the person. All the elements together create the person. And then of course, they're separated into personal, creative, and spiritual, which astrology calls cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Okay, and then 12 signs of the zodiac, which are in everyone. That energy is in everyone. And that's what creates you, and it's completely balanced out of the four elements. There is nothing alive that doesn't have all four elements contained within it. Okay, and all 12 signs.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, because it's your house system, not the planets. It's your house system. Planets just focus energy. The house system is the energy. And it has to be balanced. You have to have all 12 signs in you to exist. You can't exist without it.
Okay. Wow. It's going pretty deep here.
Sorry.
No.
But,
it's
Does that answer
it's
did that kind of answer your question?
That does answer a lot of the questions. Yes. And I can't think of any more at this time.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and do remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.